How soon should I start thinking about promotion after I join Google? I would say for the first few months, I would say maybe 3 or 4 months, as soon as you join Google or any big tech company, your priority should not be so focused on promotion. It should instead be on two other things. Number one is earn the trust of the people who you work with. That is the foundation for any kind of career advancement. You have to be able to do the work that you're assigned and do it high quality on time and do it in a way that you bring people along with you. So people say, hey, this is someone I can trust. I want to work with this person. If you don't have that, it doesn't matter how hard you work, you're going to have a really hard time getting promoted. So that's the first thing you should really focus on for the first 3 months. And second, you should actually understand the tooling. I mean, especially if you're not coming from a background at a big tech company, things like code review might be new for you. Things like working with your manager on a more regular basis might be new. Design documents, all these things are, for many people, unfamiliar. And so the goal is really understand how are these things done, what is the workflow, what meetings are normal or abnormal, and really ramp up in that way. So number one, earn the trust of your team, and number two, just ramp up on the workflow and how things actually get done in this new culture, in this new environment that you joined. I think one part of your question is that, I don't want to come in and just basically demand, hey, I want to get promoted. My goal is to get promoted in a year or a year and a half. And I do think there's some truth to that, right? As a manager, it was always a bit annoying if someone came in without any real context of what is the team trying to achieve. And they're coming in basically demanding that, hey, I want you to help me get promoted in X amount of time. So I definitely wouldn't set a goal like that. But what I do think is that, when I was coming up in my career, I had this fear that if I talked about promotion a lot with my manager, I would be viewed as maybe not being humble or not being grateful for the position I was in currently. And so I felt like I actually didn't talk about promotion as much as I wanted to out of fear of being judged somehow. And so I think there's an extreme, right? You don't want to come in demanding a promotion, but at the same time, you don't want to be so humble that like, okay, well, I'm not going to bring it up and my manager is going to tell me when I'm ready for promotion. If you care about promotion, and I think many people on Taro do care about promotion, obviously, then I think it's worth bringing that up, right? And say, hey, I really care about my career growth and I want to succeed on the team. I want the team to succeed. Can we outline a plan for career advancement? And one tactic that I've used, which is pretty effective, is a plan for a plan. So it doesn't mean that, hey, on week one, when you join the company and you have no idea what's happening, you can't just say, I want to get promoted in a year. But what you do say is, hey, manager, can we check in 2 months and talk about how promotion works at Google and, how might I fit into that? And I would love to, work with you on that because it is a priority for me. And I just want to make sure that I have an understanding of that. And so that way, it's way easier for a manager to agree to that, right? Because it's basically committing to a meeting where you'll then talk about your career growth, and he or she will have more data on how you've been doing, and it acknowledges the fact that you don't know everything on day one or week one. You have to ramp up and understand, the priorities of the team and the workflow before you really start jumping the gun on promotion. The other thing I would say is if you do care about career growth and promotion, then especially in those first 2, 3, 4 months with the new manager and the new team, you should check in frequently, not just with your manager. That should probably be happening every week, but also with other people on the team. Because you're new, you kind of have an excuse to be able to get more time from people, and you should leverage that. So I would actually go through maybe the tech lead, the product manager, the key people on the team who you think you can learn from and who have a lot of context, and set up at least maybe an every month or bi-weekly meeting for the first 3 or 4 months. And that way you can really get not just your manager's feedback on how you're ramping up, but also these other key people who will have a big impact on your promotion.